Hi, welcome to our last content on cyberbullying. Before starting, let me remind you that all the features mentioned here are dependent on what we've said before, the characteristics of the communication through the screens. It's these characteristics that intensify the cyberbullying experience, and that's the first idea. Now, the definition of cyberbullying, again to remind, because we already put it in the last block, cyberbullying involves the use of information and communication technologies to support deliberate, repeated, and hostile behavior by an individual or group that is intended to harm others. Depending on the content, we can have sexual contents, social and relational cyberbullying, and verbal cyberbullying. The types of speech that we can use it are text, photos, drawings, videos, and audio. The forms of dissemination, as you can see it here, of these different types of speech are immense. All forms of web publishing and electronic communication. Regarding the types of cyberbullying behavior, we have a great variety. Flaming, harassment, cyberstalking, denigration, impersonation, outing, trickery, and exclusion. About the state of art, first of all, I would like to alert you to some of the methodological difficulties and limitations in this data collection and the generalization of results. Generalization and the very stability of results depend greatly on the rapid technological developments. The devices themselves, programs and applications, they change every day. New ones arise and others are reformulated. How can research produce knowledge when this knowledge becomes outdated soon after? Even so, here are some of the results found. The prevalence of cyberbullying ranges between 1% to 72% in cyber victimization, and in cyberbullying 1% to 53%. And that's very different because of the different countries, the different methodologies, and the different definitions that are used. So this prevalence, it's very different between countries. There are more reports out of school hours. Mobile phone calls and intimidating text messages are the most common forms in cyberbullying. Sending and sharing videos are perceived as having a more negative impact on children and adolescents. There are some online victims that are not victims at school. So this is an important note, because cyberbullying is not always assumed to be an extension of face-to-face bullying. There are several motivations for aggression. Some of these motivations are related to the communication through the screens. For instance, the possibility of being another person, of assuming a different identity, and the feeling anonymous and untouchable. In what concerns gender, the results are very inconclusive and contradictory. Girls are preferential users of devices for socialization activities, so they are more active in social networking sites, and they are at greater risk of cyber victimization. But the prevalence of the results are very different from country to country. Sometimes girls are more victimized and sometimes are boys. About intentionality, it's a very interesting result because 95% of students find their actions harmless and humorous, and only 5% manifest intention to hurt the target. So what happens? In what concerns age, there are a higher prevalence of these behaviors during adolescence because of the increasing autonomy, because they have more individual devices and of their greater technological ability. And at these ages, Internet is also an additional socialization opportunity. And there are an association of cyberbullying with the serious health problems. For instance, internalizing mental health symptoms like depression, sadness, anxiety, or sleep difficulties, substance use, and suicidal ideation. About prediction. The best predictor of cyberbullying seems to be cyber-victimization and vice versa. Naturally, the direction of this influence is unclear, but it is assumed that there is a chain of reactions. This damage experienced in cyberbullying is mostly social and emotional, and one of the reasons it's because of the large potential audience. I would like to leave you a final concern. How can we go beyond these two aspects? The fact that children earlier and earlier require digital devices, mobile phone, computer with internet access, tablet, and at the same time are not prepared to communicate with each other through the screens. How can we go beyond? Last, but not the least, I also feel the obligation and the responsibility to underline the positive aspects of digital technologies, beyond the risks of the access to technology. But this was the objective of this learning event, cyberbullying, a negative action. But I think it's excessive to center ourselves on the aspects of abuse. For this reason, I wanted to leave at the end a word that highlights the most positive aspects, very synthetically, naturally. Simply put, the Internet is a huge window to a world of opportunities. We can identify these opportunities in 6 broad categories. Leisure and entertainment can even include games and online activities in the area of cyberbullying awareness and prevention. Information. It's the world's largest repository of information on any subject, including texts, images, sounds, multimedia, and interactive content. Communication. It breaks down geographical barriers and brings together families, friends, and people with common interests. Trade allows access to goods, products, and services. Creativity. From music to photography, from video to drawing, painting, writing, multimedia, programming. Internet can foster the acquisition and development of creative skills by children and young people. And education. The Internet provides an infinite number of educational resources that, among others, can be used to educate the school community in many domains, like cyberbullying. It's with this disposition that I want to finish. Digital technology is a good thing and full of opportunities. I hope you enjoy the resources and I wish you a good job. Don't forget to join Padlet and the discussion forum. Thank you.